everyone. My glue made an entry. As soon as I set it down, it rolled over. Okay, so we're back for part 3 of our junk mail from Joann's, which is going to end up being a folio. And really, we should have put the folio part together first, but it was a last minute thought after I started doing it. So here's the front. Told you I'd go crazy with the purple. That's the only thing I did was add 2 more butterflies. And then page 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, counting the back, out of one Joann's flyer, or weekly ad. Okay, now, I decided last night after we were all finished not last night, yesterday morning, when we were all finished with putting all the paper on, that I wanted to make it a folio. So that's what we're going to do. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. Okay, well, I cut this out of the back of an old Walmart white cardstock cover on a paper pad. Now, I'm going to move this for just 1 second so I can show you what I mean. Now, I've got these scored. I'll tell you the measurements and so forth in a minute. I've got these scored to hang over and attach to the back, which would have been nice if I had done that first, right? So what I think we're going to do is, before we've got it all folded and ready, I think we're going to collage it before we put it on, and then it'll look better. Okay, so how did I do this? Well, like I said, I just took the front of a paper pad that wasn't very heavy. It's just very lightweight. You know, Walmart doesn't go out too far on doing anything too crazy. So I decided I wanted one of them overlaps the other one just a tiny bit. Okay, and so that's okay. These are, let's see how wide they are. I measured, let me show you what I did. Oh, Paula, just slow down and get to the point here. All right, so this section right here where a folio would naturally go, we could have went out this way too, to the right. I just thought that was too much. Okay, so these 2 little guys here, they're going to go right inside this section. So what I did is I just measured this section on my trimmer and decided that it needed to be 5.5. Now, what I did was cut a little bit off of the length. I took it to 11 inches, okay? So, let's try that. Let's take it to 11 inches first. I'm going to take a little bit off of this edge. It's kind of rough, just so you'll know. Okay, now, I'm going to measure to 11 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to cut off the difference. Okay, now I'm going to divide that in half, which is going to be 5.5. Oops. Want to make sure you got it lined up straight, just like that. Okay, so we got 5.5 and 5.5, but now we should have cut the width. Let me see what the width ended up being. No, we can't do that. So we're going to do 5. Let's see exactly what it was. 5.5 on the width. Okay. I'm looking to make sure I'm doing this the right direction. No, it's this way. No, it's this way. We're going to take and make this 5.5. Okay? 5.5. Keeping this whole time, keeping the paper pad in the upright position. So what I mean is, this is the upright position. As you notice, you can see that the lettering and everything is going that direction. That's how you know you've got your measurements correct. Now, so now we have 5.5 by 5.5. Okay? Now, when I look at this, I have 5.5 by 5.5. Okay, so we got it correct. Now I'm going to show you how I scored this. I did not get my scoreboard out. I just made sure this is in the straight position, just like this. And I took it to the 1/2 mark, took my scoring tool here, and whoops, hold on to it tight. Do 1 pass, okay? 1 pass. Okay. All right. So sometimes these cannot be perfect. It's not that big a deal. You know, really, it's just get it as straight as you can. You just change it if it's not perfect the first time. Okay, now we're cutting the corners of the opposite side of the fold. Okay, I want to round the corners so it doesn't snag on things when you open and close. Open and close it. Okay, so now we've got right here. I always push my top up against this when I use my trimmer to score, and then after I get it nice and straight, I come over it with my bone folder and make sure it's nice and straight. Yeah, and do the same thing again. Kind of gives me a place to push up against and make sure everything's nice and straight by doing that. And sometimes, you know, it can get off a little bit. But there we go. Got our two little pieces to go in our book. Okay, now let me show you. Let me close this. This is the one I had done ahead of time, which I'm going to use this one because I know it's very accurate. But I wanted to show you how to do this. Okay, so you just take, after you collage both sides, okay, we're going to collage both sides. You just take and hang that right there. Now, after you collage it, we're going to put it right here. But before we do, we want to make sure everything closes without a snag, right? So that one does. Now, let's try this one. See if it closes without a snag. You want to be inside the folds. Okay, and you want to be even with the one on the top. In other words, you want to line up with it the best you can, because, you know, trash doesn't always line up perfect, right? Okay, so that side fits, this side fits, and there you go. Okay, so the first thing I want to do before we, so these worked great. I'll hang on to them for my next Joanne project. The first thing we're going to do with this is kind of sand it. It has a little bit of a slick personality going on here. You don't have to do this if you don't want. I'm just going to do a little bit just to rough it up so it sticks nicely, and you don't want to go crazy, just on the outside. Yeah, see, that's just enough to make a powder mess. All right, now got a nice dusty table now. Okay, now let me wipe that off because it's flying everywhere. We don't want it all over everything. But that just makes it, everything adhere a little better, I feel like. Okay, and now we have a wet table. So also, we want to put on our, fabric here. Now, we could do it like, I thought about putting pages in here somewhere. And if we do, I thought about doing it here, but now we're doing the folio, which I'd rather do. I wonder what it would look like if we stitched some paper right here. The problem is I didn't get any paper, but I can grab some. Let's go ahead and do the folio portion. We'll save the spine for when we decide, right? So we're gonna cover it with our paper before we do, before we put it on the book, okay? Now, just gonna open these out because you wanna cover the folded edges too. Okay, now, let's think for a minute. One of them's gonna be up, okay, like this, and one of them's gonna be down. So let's do it like this. I don't know which one's which. I don't know which one fits the best. It's okay. Either way you look at it, it's going to turn out. Okay, just lay out your little area here. Now, you might want to think about what you got going on behind your folio portion here on the back. So we've got some yellow and a little bit of peach, a little bit of pink, and a purple butterfly. Okay, so I thought since we're doing butterflies, we'd just pull out some butterflies, right? These are the same paper. I'm going to have this portion. I'm just going to do one piece to this side, okay? Now, I'm going to do this other piece right here to the other side. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think the easy thing to do is just to tear the size we need, right? Now, I'm going to flip it over right here so that when we tear, we know where we want to put it, right? Now, I'm going to line it right up here next to the paper and hope that I can do it straight without... Look how crooked that is. My hands aren't very strong, guys, and I have a hard time tearing stuff like that. So let's try this again. We'll just reposition it. Gonna put it right there. We've got it. Let's tear it from this side. That way we can see a little better. If we lose this butterfly, you know what? Let's don't lose this butterfly. Let's just flip the pages because we got the big butterfly below. All right. So let's do like this and allow a little extra out there, you know, because you got to tear on that side too. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. It's not easy when your fingers are not super strong. I usually don't worry about it, but I do want this to get straight, to be as straight as I can get it under the circumstances. Okay, so that is the top portion. Now, I do want to tear just a itty bit right here. And that itty bit, which is not really proper grammar, is not going to be super easy because it's a tiny little piece of paper right there. But I did it. Yippee. Okay, now we're going to bring this back out again. Okay. And put it right here so we can tear the other way. Now this time we're going to tear on this side of the paper. right? There we go. And this time we're going to tear right here. Now, if this ends up being too big, we'll just trim it off. Oops, got a little mess up there, right there. Did you see that? I'm just going to pull it the other direction and hope that it comes off without a snag. Okay, so there is that side. All right, so this is going to be on top of here the best we can. I think what we'll do is go ahead and do the corners. I know normally you don't worry with that, but that might make putting the corners down a little easier. I don't know if they're going to be perfect. No, I don't think it makes that much difference, really. I don't like the way this side looks, so I'm going to straighten it a little bit, if I can. Okay, let's turn it this way. Now, I don't know which part of this I'm going to stick this on. I'm just kind of giving you examples. So, if I don't like the way it looks, you know, it will not stay on there. So this one looks okay. I just don't want this stuff hanging over the corner and looking all yucky. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Let me get a piece of paper and my glue stick. I don't know whether this is going to be the top or the bottom of the folio. Haven't quite decided. I'm just going to lay this right here and do it like this. Since it's small enough that we can do that, get a lot here on this hinge so I know that it around the edges, so I know it's going to fit okay. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of line up the rounded edges. Again, it doesn't, if you need to pull it one way or the other, just like that, go ahead. If you feel like you're not getting it on straight, come on, Miss Paula. Okay. Good enough. But we do have, stuff hanging over. And a big wad of glue right there. I'm just going to wipe that off. And actually, I think I'm just going to cut it off. That way the hinge will be straight. Okay? Now, as you can see, it's not perfect, but it was fun. It's fun no matter what. We'll just trim this a little bit right here. Anything hanging over, I'm gonna trim. It might give it that straight look, but we want everything to fit in here correctly. And that doesn't bother me. We may have to do something right there, but that's gonna look good. Now, let's do the other. Let's do the other side right here. Now, we know that this hinge is going to be right here. So this has to be on the bottom. Okay, this is going to be our bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that so it can kind of find its happy place at home. This is going to go like this. All right, so now where did my other big butterfly go? I want to make sure, I don't want him up there, so we're going to use this one. And we're going to do the same way. We're going to do it, where we tear around, try to hang on to as much of our butterfly as we can. That's not the best way to do this. I'll just tell you right now. Let's go like this. Let's just move this and pull it off this side here. You don't want to go by the shortest, the tiny little short piece of paper. You see what I'm saying? Because it will want to, come on, stay in there. It will want to tear into the bigger section. And we got lucky. That one didn't do that. Okay, so now let's see where this is going to land. Let's just take a little bit off the bottom so he lands lower. I want him on the top, I think. Okay. And let's see. All right, so let's turn it this way. Let's do it right here. Awesome. Got that out of the way. All right, now we'll do this outside section. And I'm going to lay it over this time, just to kind of see where we're wanting it. And this time you can tear from looking underneath. If I don't get it perfect, we'll do it again. Like I didn't get that corner perfect, but you know what? It's going to end up, I'm going to go ahead and do this corner. Even though these corners don't really end up in the corner, it'll help me a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put that right here, just like we did the other one. I'm going to load down this little flap. And, you know, I don't know if you guys recognize how the glue does. Do you guys notice that too? The warmer it is, the glue just hits and chunks off on everything. I don't know what the deal is with it. Weather does that, I think. Okay, so I really loaded it down because it is kind of, the wind's blowing in here from my fan. I hope that's not causing too much noise, but I get hot under these lights. I've told you that a million times, I know. Okay, now let's lift this up. Got a bunch of chunks of something going on there, right? Just wipe that off. Now it looks like that one is super close to being perfect. No, it's not perfect, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna rub on it a little bit, make sure it's sticking well. Okay, now we're gonna throw that piece of paper away. It's seen its last day. Now let's do another one out here. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna fold this. This is how it's gonna look. I'm gonna show you before we move along. This one's gonna be on the top. Ooh, I like it already. You're just gonna make sure you put it in the center. Just like that is how it's gonna look. And then this one will look like that. Now, if they, you know, if they overlap or don't meet, that's not a big deal. You know, they should be right at each other's. Yay! We might put a purple butterfly right there. We'll see. All right, so let's let this one kind of dry a little bit and move on to the back. Now, on this back one, we're going to do the same sort of thing. We don't have to have paper right here, and I'm not going to put it there because it'll just bulk up the book a little bit. But this is going to be the bottom piece that goes up like that. So we're going to turn it like this. And we want this butterfly facing this way, just below right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear it just below so we don't have it being real bulky right there. I can get hold of my little tear tool. So right there. There we go. Now I'm going to lay it like this so we can see. Nope, I'm going to lay it the other way. I think I can see better like this. Now I know that this is going to be on the top, right? So I just want to make sure it's on there just right. Awesome. Now, we got that right there. Whoops. No, we don't. We have it right here. And it is small. So, we'll add another piece at the top. We'll bring it right down. How did I do that? Did I turn it the wrong way, maybe? I bet that's what I did. It's all right. We'll make do. There we go. Now, I am going to hole punch. I think I did this right. Let's see. So this is going to be like this, right? It's real easy. Trust me. Gonna go like that. Perfect. Now I'm gonna put a little strip of this right here. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. And we'll just glue it on first. The nice thing about collaging, that's exactly what it is, right? You're collaging, and perfection is not necessary. So I'm going to put that on first, right here. Okay, now we're going to put the glue all over here, like we did last time. Now, we don't need to worry about the flap. Or the thing that we're going to put over. Now, there we go. So pick that up. Make sure everything is nice and flat. And so this is going to be, oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. This goes down here. And then it's going to go like that. Yeehaw. I actually got that right. I can't believe I actually got that right. So I brought 2 pages over so we can cover up the sticky side. Now, this is our bottom portion. This is our top. And so we know this time we need this to be the top, correct? Correct. Okay. So again, we're going to end up piecing this one too, because remember, this is the one that I didn't get perfect last time. Oh well, I'm not too concerned. Okay, so we're gonna do it as perfect or as straight as we can up here. Got to get it off that white paper. We can't see where we're at. Okay, right there. Now let's tear it right here. There we go. Now those 2 sides, those are the sides that need to have the corners rounded. So let's do that so we don't forget. That kind of keeps me keeping it in the right direction. Okay, so there we go. We do need a piece here, and I'm just going to cut it from this. Okay, so let's put it on first. Put it over here. Just put it on first, like we did the other one. Okay, so we got to remember, this is the front. It's going to flip up. Now this is the top right here. So now we're going to do like this and get the glue on here. It's really easy to do, even if it's an afterthought, right? I feel like we got it on here without any problems. Now, I wouldn't want to wallpaper someone's wall like this. Just saying. Okay, now we can get rid of that sticky thing. And make sure everything's laying down nicely. And it is. Except right there, maybe. I don't know why that didn't stay down. Huh. Must have not got enough glue on the edge. Okay, so now let's pretend that we're putting it on. It's going to be like this. Okay, this is how it's going to look. Maybe not quite overlapping, more like this. And when we flip this one up, that's going to be the top. We flip this one down. Oh, I can't believe we actually got it on there correct. What's the odds of that, right? Okay, so now we're going to put it onto the book. Now we're going to make sure we have it exactly where we want it. Keep your stuff laid out. Now we are going to put this on with Fabri-Tac because I don't want it to come off. So I'm just going to put the Fabri-Tac right along the line right here. I'm going to turn my fan off while I do that because I don't want it drying my... Now, I'm using the Fabri-Tac because it's strong, but also it gives you some playtime. All right? Okay, now, I'm going to put this underneath because I don't want to get glue on this mat. I have had a mat that got glue on it many times, and it's not pretty. Okay, now, let's see. We want to make sure this is pushed up as far as it can be. Make sure everything closes properly. Yes. Which means this has to be in the right spot then, right? So here we are on the back. Yes, it's not perfect, but I have an idea. I'm going to come back and put some paper right here. Maybe. It's not that big a deal, you know? Doesn't have to be that perfect. Now we're going to do this one, and it's going to go up on the bottom. Let's see. On the inside, Paula, on the inside. We're going to do like this and just make sure. You might have a little seepage because you know I get carried away. All right. Now, I'm going to turn it around. I know it's upside down, but I can get at this angle better. I want to line it up with this also. I'm going to put it on here. Go ahead and put it on where I think it needs to go. And then start lining it up. Come on, come on, come on. There's never perfection that happens, is there? It's very lined up, so let's make sure it's pushed all the way down here. Now, let me make sure everything closes like it should. That closes. This closes. Okay, this is hanging on something. It's hanging on this, which it shouldn't be. The reason it is because if paper kind of curls up a little bit, but I think that will settle down with time. Okay, so let's look at the back first and make sure, oops, this one's not sticking. We got to get some clips on there, don't we? Let's get some clips on there. Probably a smart thing to do anyway. Okay. Ooh. My fingers aren't working right. Okay, so there we go. And we'll put some on the other end too. A little bit of wet glue right there. And I have a feeling we'll have glue on the inside too. This one is laying down pretty good. Let me see if I can get the glue in here. See, we have a little bit of glue. What I suggest to you is I'm going to leave that clip for a minute over there while we clean up this glue. And then we're going to go back and do the same thing. Get all the glue out of here. And you'll end up with glue boogers. And that's okay. I'd rather have it like that than have it glued to your page. Right? Let me make sure there's not any more anywhere. Don't see any. Looks like I got it all. And if I need to touch up anything, I can. While that is sticking down over there, let me get over here where you can see. I'm going to trim anything that's hanging off this side, like the curve. I think what we might do, I'm thinking out loud, I'm sorry, it can be dangerous. I'm thinking as we do this, as you can tell here, now I'm going to clip this side while we clean up the other side. And although this one is cooperating pretty well, let's make sure the other one still is. Okay? All right. Yeah, now it's down. And there's not any glue that we have to worry with. We will clip it if we need to again. Okay, so now we're going to lift this one up. See, it's already trying to glue down. Doesn't take much, right? With that Fabri-Tac, it glues pretty fast, but it does still allow you time, which is what I love about it. Oh, we'll have to fix that. And I don't care. That's all right. We'll do what we have to do, right? To make it work. It's not like it's coming out of a department store. Although it could. No, it couldn't. We feel that proud about our stuff sometimes, don't we? About our junk, as we call it. Okay, I think there's still some right there. Let's get it too. And then if we have to add more paper, we will. I think that's it. Let me get these glue boogers out of here and into the trash instead of on me. Okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of paper across there. I'm just going to tear it just like this, just a little bit of paper. And I'm going to be using a glue stick this time. That way it will stay down. Now, I'm going to put this right here, across this here, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't just butt them up together. This may not be wide enough. Let me get a wider one. I have a better idea. Let me just, this way, if we do it like I'm thinking here, we can just put it right across all the ugliness right there. Now, I don't know if I like that. I don't. So let's do something different. Let's do it like this, just like I thought to do it the first time. Okay, we'll just put it on here. I did forget to take off that straight edge. Oh well, it'll be all right. It's just right here that really needs to be covered. So why cover all of it, right? And that looks better. I like the way that looks better. Now this corner is trying to come up right there. And you know, that's the thing about doing anything collaged. You're going to have paper ends pop up. Just deal with it, you know, is what I do. And this right down here, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put that there too, because I might have to do it on the other side as well. I want to support it. I want it to look nice. I mean, after all, if we make it look nice, we won't look at it and go, man, I should have done this, or I should have done that. And plus, we want these flaps to be very functional, right? Let's see what this looks like on the other side. Now, we're going to probably have to do, that side looks pretty good. Let's just leave it. Yeah, we got it going there. Look at that. You guys, how cool is that? Woohoo! That goes in, this goes over, and we have a folio. Let's see how much time we've got. We've got time. I want to decide, do we want to put this on here? Now, this is just a strip I had, and it already had the little edges all, because this particular fabric was the closest to what we're working with. Now, I can wait and put it on there if we decide to stitch a few pages in. But if we do, where are we gonna do that? I think if we do it, we need to do it in the center. See, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. So this is the center right here. I think it'd be right here. Feels like it has just the right spot to do that. So let me grab, oh my goodness, do we have time? I have a doctor's appointment today, guys, and I just thought I'd do this ahead of time. So I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get up and get paper for us to put in here. We only have like 10 more minutes. Hold your horses. I'm just gonna put, oh, here's some right here by me. Now, I'm not doing anything too fancy, okay? We're going to use some digital paper because we can, right? All right, so this is where we're gonna put it, right through here. We're just gonna cut our paper, and we'll do the rest of it in the next video. Now, I have some avocado paper, and I want to, this is just a digital, okay? So, but I just thought it'd be pretty with all this. And we might add some dictionary and music. Now, we're only going to have 5 or, let's see, 1, 2, 4. I'm not want to go crazy because, okay, so just, we are going to have little edges that have little white on them. Because this is, it didn't go all the way to the border. But we're going to have some fun pages. All of them are different. Aren't they neat? And this can go over here. Nope, those two are like, let's get some that's different. I've got more over here that have different prints on them. Like, see, look at this, how wrinkly it looks. Let me get it over here. But then look, isn't that fun? Okay, and we'll get one more. All right, we'll do 4 sheets of this, and then we'll put a music sheet and a dictionary sheet. Let me see what other paper I've got bouncing around here. Oh, I have some tea stained. Let's do a couple of these. These are going to go out in the border too. These are coffee stained. So we'll do 2 of these. I've got to reprint all of these anyway, because I have just been going crazy using these. So every 2, we're going to do a coffee one. How's that? We'll do it like that. All right. And I do copy on both sides. I don't know that I like that. It's going to show in our book, so we're going to cut it off. Now, hopefully it doesn't tear up my paper. Let me cut 3 at a time. Yeah, let's cut 3 at a time. And just keep them together the best you can. Now, I know that it's hard to see this in camera, but it'll be a little shorter whenever we put it in. Okay, and my blade is getting close to being dull, but if I were to put that paper in there, it would, with that strip around it, it would drive me crazy. Just saying. And we may still get some, because, you know, we are cutting it separate. Let's do it like this. Okay. And one more side. Okay, let's see which side do I want on the front. I think I want that one. Now, if these aren't perfect, I'm not going for perfect. I'm just folding them in half. You see how I'm doing them? This isn't how I would normally do a book, but I'm doing this one this way. We're not going to sew it in today. We're just going to see what we're dealing with here. Get those scraps out of the way. Now, this is going to be short because this is a tall book. Do we want to still do that? What we can do is we can kind of put half the paper this way, half the paper the other way. But, and that is done all the time, we still need one big paper for the front. And I know how to get that. I just know how to get it. Let me see here what's going on inside my little book here. Oh, hopefully I have some. I'm just going to put some. Let's put a little bit of, I'm finding paper as I go along here. Isn't this blue pretty? Isn't this blue pretty? We'll put those in there too. I don't think they're going to fit any better. I'll put it that way. Let's see. They might be a little bigger. One's already made, and I forget. I don't know who this one is, you guys. I'm sorry. Now, these are bigger. Not much. So what I say is just, let's do this as the center. I kind of like this one as the center. Let's do it like this. Okay. Let's do this like that. And then this one like that. And then like that. Okay, well, now these are all going to be different sizes, and that's okay. Now, they're the right depth. Now, let me get a music sheet or two, and a dictionary page or two. Where did my music sheets go? Okay, the music sheets are pretty good size. They might work great in this. So let's just trim a little bit of this off so we can have some kind of coordination going on here. Something that looks like it is going to work, kind of thing. Okay, now this dictionary paper is a mess because I just tore it out of the book and came over to the craft table. And that's okay. We may or may not use that. Okay, now, right here, I'm not going to put the title page at the front because I just don't want to do that. And it's not going to make a difference. See, it's not any bigger. Do we like that better though? I do. So we're going to put that part right there, and then somewhere in here we'll put a little bit of a dictionary page. And we want it to be facing the right way. Hopefully it's a nice page. Okay, and we're just going to do one of each of those because, you know, we're getting a lot of paper. All right, so this is going to go right here, but how is that going to feel? It's still going to feel pretty flat. Now, that will be nice, and then we'll do this. So in our next video, we're going to put the spine on after we stitch it into the book. Okay, I think that will be good. We haven't inked anything, so we're not going to worry about inking. This is a fun project. When it's all said and done, I probably will end up inking some stuff. And hopefully this all turns out like we want, because I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. Right along with you guys. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell your friends to come watch. This is a fun project. Who doesn't get Joanne flyers? Almost everybody. And learn how to do this. It's lots of fun. It was simple. A lot of time involved because this is our 3rd hour. But it's fun. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. And if you've just recently subscribed, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you that has been with me since day one. And I want you to know that. I don't forget that you've been with me since day one. I appreciate all of you that comment and give me encouragement to keep doing videos. You know, when you don't hear from anybody, even though you might have a few that watch, it's discouraging if you don't hear from people once in a while. Not all the time. You don't have to do it all the time, but just every now and then just say, hey, Paula, I'm still hanging in there with you. And then I'll feel a little more. I think this whole COVID thing has slowed down a lot of things for different people. Not necessarily videos, but just other things. All right, so we're going to put this on here also after we put on the paper, or put in the paper. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye-bye.